this is mind-boggling. You know, I've got a new book out. It's called The Hidden History of Big Brother in America. And the part of the book is about corporate invasions of our privacy, and part of it is about government invasions of our privacy. And basically how we have all become commodities, and all of our deep, dark secrets are for sale. You know, I mean, this is just, you know, and everything we do, whether it's a deep, dark secret or not, is for sale. And this is particularly troubling. This is in Politico today. The headline, Suicide Hotline shares data with for-profit spinoff raising ethical questions. You would think if you called a suicide hotline that your conversation would just be between you and the person on the other end. Turns out that ain't the case. The crisis text line is one of the biggest players in the suicide hotline business, as it were. It's a nonprofit, but it was started with backing from some of Silicon Valley's biggest players. A bunch of, you know, very wealthy companies and individuals got together. And they now control what is referred to as the largest mental health data set in the world. And they have a for-profit sister corporation, and that data is being, you know, sliced, diced, and sold. I mean, this is just breathtaking. People who text their pleas for help are actually they actually tell you this. There is a 50-paragraph long fine print disclosure when you first sign into the suicide hotline thing here, or the crisis text line. When you first sign in, it says, you know, click here to say you agree to the terms and conditions. If you read the terms and conditions, which are 50 paragraphs long, it comes right out and says that they're going to disclose your information to Meta, what we used to call Facebook, if you're using Facebook Messenger. If you're using WhatsApp, Facebook gets to know all about it, and that content may also be available to others, since it's, or at least data about that content. I'm quoting from Politico here. Since its launch in 2013, Crisis Text Line says it has exchanged 219 million messages in more than 6.7 million conversations over text, Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp. It has spread beyond the U.S. now to operations in Canada, the U.K., and Ireland. Many of the people calling are young, people of color, LGBTQ+, or living in rural areas. The helpline wrote in one government filing, quote, 68% of our texters share something with us they have never shared with anyone else. Tim Ryerson was a crisis text line volunteer. He has quit his job and become a whistleblower. He said, when you're in a conversation with someone and you don't know how it's going to end, it's a very delicate and tender and fragile space. He said, is somebody staring at blades on the table in front of them, or somebody hiding from a parent who's on a rampage, or somebody who's struggling with an ED disorder, somebody who's ready to end their life? He said, those individuals definitely have an expectation that the conversation is just between the two people who are talking. Apparently it's not. When he raised these issues, the company fired him. He says it's because he raised the issues. Their lawyer says no, it's he was fired for cause, et cetera, et cetera. The crisis text line is not the only nonprofit support line, by the way, that collects and shares data as part of its operations. Again, quoting from Politico, for example, the Trevor Project, a 23-year-old group that includes suicide prevention, that provides suicide prevention services to young LGBTQ people, discloses that it passes along users' information to third parties like Meta and Google for targeting of online ads or other purposes, and the content of their conversations to partners for research. This is really, really bad news, because if it discourages even one person from calling one of these helplines or getting in one of these text lines and getting help and not committing suicide, all the good work that might have been done otherwise is just like blown up. This is just wrong.